Now, this is interesting. Show me stable road acquisition. Okay, I'm sure you've never heard of it. I want to bring in our market guy of the morning, Gregg Smith. Now, Gregg is a guy who invests in futuristic type companies. And stable road acquisition is a SPAC which is going to buy Momentus Space, or has already bought Momentus Space. And Momentus Space, I got to get this right, Gregg. Momentus Space manages satellites in space and positions them precisely. Have I got it right?
You got it right, Stuart. Well, buckle up. We're going to the stars, whether or not you like it or not. So in the private markets, what I've witnessed is there's been a tremendous amount of financing activity of all of these frontier companies. And in the public markets, there's really a dearth. There's really a lack of a way for public market investors to play the growth of what's happening in the private markets. We're all familiar with Elon Musk's SpaceX. That's trading at over $40 billion in the private markets. And I think Momentus, which, as you said, it's in the process of being acquired by a SPAC called Stable Road, and I believe that expects to close in the first quarter. This will be really the first way for public investors to play and invest in the first space infrastructure company. So
you think it's going to be that big?
This is a burgeoning sector.
You think that the private activity in space is going to be that big?
I do. We're seeing a tremendous amount of activity. One of the largest financings just took place a few weeks ago for a company that I talked about on the show with you probably months ago called Relativity Space. Relativity just raised $500 million in the private market. So compare a $500 million private round to even some of the IPOs that we see today, which, that would dwarf them in size. So many companies are getting financed. This is just a harbinger of what the public markets are going to start to see over the next 24 months. So we're going to see a lot of these frontier companies coming to market and becoming public in the next 24 months.
Is there an ETF that brings together all of these pure plays in space and allows me to invest in a basket of pure plays in space? Is there such an ETF?
I'm not too familiar with an ETF. The other big play is Virgin Galactic, which is another publicly traded one. I'm not a holder of that one, but Momentus is really, I think, going to be the next way to play this sector. I'm not familiar if there is an ETF.
And let's be clear, you own Stable Road. You've got a piece of it, right?
I do. I've begun to buy shares in that because I believe this is something that could double in the next 18 months. I think, again, a great proxy and a great way to play this as more investors come into the space, no pun intended. I think we're going to see these companies work higher as more exciting things happen.
You may have moved the market already because now it's up nearly 10%. Well done, young man. Of course, you're calling your own book there. Before we leave you, Gregg, one last one, real fast. Give me 30 seconds on Tesla in the S&P now. You buying it?
I'm not buying Tesla. I'm not involved. Look, Elon is our generation's version of Walt Disney. My only regret is I actually sold the stock for my kids earlier this year when it was expensive. It's more expensive today, so that wasn't a great decision. This is one I just don't know how to value. You probably had a lot of people front-running this stock into joining the S&P at the close of trading on Friday. We see this front-running trade every summer with the Russell 2000 rebalance in May and June. People will go out, they'll buy stocks that they believe are going to join the Russell 2000. They might sell ones that are getting kicked out. So I don't know if this had a big run-up into that trade on Friday and what's going to happen, but very hard for me to assess. I know it's a great product, great company, but I can't put a price on it.
Gregg Smith moves the market on Stable Road Acquisition. All right, Gregg, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Stuart.
One of the themes on the program is always